So we just got a new trailer for Secret Invasion. I've watched it a few times now. I wrote a couple videos just trying to figure out like what I wanted to talk about exactly, and then I thought, you know what, I'll just do a live look at the trailer, just kind of talk my way through it. We'll play through once, just all the way through, and then I'll go back and I'll kind of stop on things. But yeah, here we go. So I find that actually really interesting. It looks like we're going to get a lot of like Europe in the series, and we'll kind of touch on aspects of that when we come back to it. Just based on like a lot of British cast members too. It's a different grave than what we see in Winter Soldier, so that's pretty interesting. I believe that that newspaper was in French. That was a Battle of New York newspaper, so we might get a flashback to like that era of the MCU. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good trailer too. Pretty good look of what we're going to be seeing when we actually get the show when it releases. And yeah, I just kind of want to go through and talk about a few things that I noticed. One of the first things, of course, that I looked at was when they visit the grave of Nick Fury. Yeah, I already talked about it, but this is not the same one that we see in Winter Soldier. And the first thing that stuck out to me was the actual epitaph on the grave. It's not the Pulp Fiction one, so I actually did some digging. I looked it up, and I've actually got a full video about this coming out. This is from John, I believe it's 1513, which, if you remember the Secret Invasion comic run, it included the tie-in Captain Britain and the MI-13, which ran for 15 issues. And I think that could be pretty clear indication that maybe we're getting Captain Britain and some kind of Europe task force, or maybe Emilia Clarke's character, Gaia, is on that task force of MI-13. And we'll get a deeper look at like Captain Britain and maybe like some other, Captain America adjacent characters that might show up in Secret Invasion. Of course, we get Sam Jackson back as Nick Fury. We get Olivia Colman in, Ben Mendelsohn, and Kobe Smulders reprising their roles. Martin Freeman, I think, is going to be really interesting coming back as Everett Ross, just because we know from Wakanda Forever, he's on the run again. The Wakandans helped him escape right at the end of that movie. So his role in this show is going to be really interesting. I'm not too sure what's going on here, honestly. I've watched this a couple of times, and I wonder if this is just some kind of Kree situation. Like, that, this does look like the same type of energy that the I'm blanking on the character's name, but the Supreme Intelligence uses in Captain Marvel. It's kind of got that same like look and idea behind it. Yeah, so we get the idea that Olivia Colman character and Nick Fury have previously worked together. And yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is French. Yeah, I'm terrible with like picking this up. But yeah, talking about the Battle of New York, so I'm assuming we're gonna get flashbacks to Avengers era. I do love the Nick Fury like wearing glasses, and like, because that was something that they kind of hinted at the end of Winter Soldier, was he drops the eye patch, and it's something that Sam Jackson just talked about in an interview recently, was why he's not wearing the eye patch in this. And I just think it's a really interesting way to look at the character. I don't know if maybe there's some kind of like interface on the glasses or some kind of like UI. So this part is going to be interesting. I'm assuming... So I think this is Gaia and maybe Ben Mendelsohn or Talos. And I looked through this a couple of times. I wanted to see if there were duplicates of the agents, just because, you know, with the Skrulls being here, and there's that one scene with Talos interrogating the guy, and the entire room turns into copies of the same person. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. They could change this in post, as Marvel is known to do, but these two look pretty similar. You know, I didn't really get a full look at all of them and like figure out if I could track them down, but there are people in this shot that do look very similar to one another. Oh, I love that we're getting Rhodey back in this too, talking about how Nick Fury is the most wanted man on the planet. Looks like here we get Damage Control coming back again, which is going to be really interesting. I really wanted to see that collection date when they were rolling over this, but I'm pretty sure what we're going to be getting here is Super Skrull. And I feel like this character, I don't know the name of the actor, but I'm pretty sure he is going to be the Super Skrull, as we saw back here. You get that, like, very... almost like a Mr. Fantastic looking punch. And then there's a part at the end where he uses his power right here. And it's almost like, it looks a little bit like Groot. So I wonder if maybe they collected some specimens from Groot, and that's what we're seeing here. He's going... because we don't have the Fantastic Four in the MCU yet, which is where the Super Skrull gets, like, a majority of his abilities from in the comics. And I don't know, I just really want to see what they're going to do with this character without the Fantastic Four. So yeah, and that's pretty much everything I have to say about the trailer at this moment. I'm sure there's more that's going to be coming out as the week goes forward. I know those Sam Jackson interviews were really insightful as far as what he was talking about with the show coming out. But yeah, I'm glad you watched this video, and stay tuned because I'm going to be doing further breakdowns. And we've also got the Spider-Verse trailer coming out on Tuesday, so I'm going to be talking about that. Maybe I'll do a similar thing if people enjoy this video where I kind of go through the trailer and break it down. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and click on screen. There's another video that's going to be recommended for you. Thank you so much.